Hello.
Hey, Sam.
All right. Hello to Brigid, and welcome to everyone. This is the next episode of Chasing the Rabbit, where we are focusing on house within a house.
Of named episode. And before we do that, I just want to say hi again to people who are actually listening to us. Especially, we had one really lovely YouTube comment, and I'm trying to remember their name.
Michaela
Very
Rabbit.
appropriate. What was it?
Michaela Rabbit.
Michaela Rabbit. Thank you for your lovely comment. You picked your your podcasts and your fandoms well. And also Genie Things on Tumblr, and everyone else who has actually reblogged us and liked us and listened. So hi.
So hi. We love being part of the community, and we love hearing what everyone has to say about the show. It gives us, something to talk about and something to get up in the morning for, so.
Yep, and as always, you can listen to the show, watch the TV show on BBC America.
Okay, so jumping in, I loved this week's episode.
I didn't get to watch it as soon as you did, and I just got all these messages like, Brigid! Ah!
It might be my favorite of the season so far.
Really?
Really, honestly, truly.
Huh. Okay. So where would you like to start? What do you like about it?
Oh, geez. It just had a lot of really great emotional moments that we've been building up to. A lot of things are coming together. I kind of liked the fact, I felt like it was meant to be, a turning point. You kind of started the episode at the beginning of the day, new day dawning. Got to see everyone, waking up or not waking up in the case of our poor sleep-deprived detective. And I felt like that was just kind of significant. Just, like the dawning of a new day, new things are coming.
I really like that. I feel like I also noticed a couple of themes just in the fact that there seemed to be a lot of people reaching out to other people. So either offering a hand or offering a physical object, whether it be a donut or an offer to talk or a magical wand and a chance to be queen, or
reaching out for your long lost sibling who's stuck in a cage in another dimension.
Exactly. Or offering to jump down a slide into possibly quite literally Judeo-Christian hell.
Yes.
And and also a theme of looking for an escape or looking for a way out. Whether in Friedkin's case, where it's a bit more metaphorical, or whether it's literally from a giant cage in the middle of the woods, or again, a demented, hellish basement from a slide, or just people trying to escape from their problems.
Interesting.
So both people looking for an escape and other people offering solace in some way.
I really love that, because I think that could be, just like a theme for the entire show, is just, people trying to, well, actually, I'm going to pause there because I wanted to get into that a bit later when we talk about Ken.
Okay.
So, but no, I like where you're going with that. That's beautiful.
And I like that it's treated seriously in some ways for all the silliness, like with Bart and her donut, or with Hobbs putting a hand on Todd's shoulder. They could have been played for laughs, and people are kind of smiling, but it's also very genuine.
Yeah. Sorry, should I be responding to that more?
No, by all means, why don't we jump right in then?
Well, we kind of start with Dirk's, descent into whatever it was that he was in. How about we start with him?
Sure. Yeah, we start right off in the middle of the action. Don't get to see what happened to Dirk until later, but we open up with him being in the middle of all of this danger and bright colors and creepiness.
Everything is fun and festive, but in horrible ways.
Mm-hmm. It
Um,
seemed very much like something a child would create. And not even in a creepy way, almost like, what is everything that a child loves, and let's put it in that room or that house? You know, cowboys and balloons and trains and birthday cake.
See, I found that really interesting because for me, it did feel like a perversion of the things that are meant to be, good and colorful and celebrated. And I feel like it kind of plays into my theories on what happened in the Cardenas household.
Hmm?
Because as we go through that whole, that whole terrible ordeal, and we get to the kitchen where you have the broken vase, the scissors stabbed into the countertop. For me, I was getting a very strong vibe of domestic violence.
Huh. Oh. Especially with, the evil being lurking in the house and the sinister tint to all of the happiness.
Exactly. Like, all the smiles are a little too forced, all the colors are a little too bright, the music's a little too loud, and the things that are, meant to be, celebrated and bring joy to your life have undertones of possible
Oh.
violence. So, for me, I was just thinking, what if we do have a boy who is a potential Blackwing subject who his parents are maybe, maybe hid them away because the town apparently didn't know that, that Cardenas has had a child. And I can see that bringing a lot of tension into a family and a relationship. And maybe it wasn't a happy household. Maybe the parents fought. And maybe, the 67 was just a built up of all of that, that emotion and that energy that the kid was trying to repress, and we don't know what exactly the instigator was, but maybe either the child killed Hector with the scissors, or else maybe, the parents finally got into it and the kid snapped.
That would make a lot of sense for me. Even just metaphorically, with the idea of the child's drawings getting papered up with the wallpaper in the rooms, and the just simplicity of that broken vase, and having those scissors stabbed into what would probably be the heart of any house. It makes a lot
Ooh.
of sense.
Okay, yeah, I like that imagery. Though I do want to jump on that. The slide was boarded up, the pictures were papered over, and I'm wondering what exactly is the timeline for all of this? Who did that?
Yeah. As soon as I saw those drawings, I didn't even think about the boarded up slide, but I thought of the drawings, and it made no sense to me that someone would just come in and fix it, unless maybe it's the government.
Maybe.
They were the ones who owned the house now.
Maybe they were brought in after the 67 that, that made them aware of the situation, so they came in after the fact.
Potentially.
Ooh, sorry, I just had the thought. For me, I couldn't figure out what on earth that, liminal space was that they were trapped in. Because honestly, when I was seeing the previews and everything, I was expecting that to be, some kind of, in-between place to Wendamore. But it doesn't seem that that's the case. They were able to get out. But if the slide and the entrance to it was in a closet, if I'm jumping off of my previous theory with, domestic violence, I'm picturing now a little boy hiding hiding away, you know, in a closet while his parents argue. And if he's got abilities that, you know, we assume that he did, possibly creating his own sort of hideaway, his own space where everything's, you know, colorful and bright.
I could see that. And then just having it turn slowly darker and darker and getting twisted. I was even thinking of, you know, the monster in the maze as well, but
Oh, okay. For some reason I didn't even get the Minotaur reference.
oh, I've been obsessed with the Minotaur reference ever since I saw the episode. So I really want to talk about that at some point. But the Purple People Eater, I looked up the song, and that came out in 58. And
Did
so
it?
I'm almost imagining some kind of twisted imaginary friend scenario.
Oh. Okay, I can see that. Because honestly, I was curious about the Purple People Eater, and I did like, well, one, I love that creature. I saw people saying they want to cosplay it, and I'm like, yes, me.
Ooh,
I want to be a giant purple monster.
I do not
Um,
want to be in the room with them, but sure, go for it.
yeah, but I also liked Don't Offend the Bees. Also brought up the song and the fact that the Purple Eater was not necessarily purple, but it ate purple people, and possibly the poor choice of jacket that Dirk chose out of all the hippie clothing. Um, but also the fact that it came to Earth to join a rock and roll band, and we know that there's some kind of music festival going on in the town, so who knows, maybe that's relevant. But
Everything is relevant.
everything is connected.
Ooh.
Hell, the fact that one of the lines says, you know, like it came down to Earth and like, you know, lit in a tree, and I'm like, it's in a tree. But that's probably that's probably too much. I do like
Oh.
your idea though of the imaginary friend, and I really want to hear more about the Minotaur musings.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So for me, you know me, I like a good reference to things. I like thinking about the symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm just really trapped with this image of Dirk as Theseus in my head,
Okay.
because the original Greek myth revolves around Theseus being a prince from Athens and volunteering to be one of the sacrifices to be tossed into the Minotaur's maze in an effort to try to kill it and stop the sacrifices or the tributes that his kingdom has to keep paying to this monster. And so I'm still getting this very strong image of the self-sacrifice of Dirk going off and doing things and putting himself in danger so that he avoids having anyone else get killed. And then even just in terms of imagery, you have that phone line getting wrapped all around the corridors, just like Theseus has his friend, his newfound companion Ariadne, ends up giving him in order to help save his life and have him find a way out. And so I just like the idea of Dirk as Theseus going in to fight the monster and face the dangers alone, and only finding his way out through his connection to Todd, almost literally by that stretching phone cord.
I like that so much, but can I also ask, we've brought up the fact before that Dirk's code name is Icarus. Wasn't Daedalus Icarus's father the one who created the maze?
Oh my god, yes. You're totally right. Oh my god. Being so clever, and then you just drop that. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know quite what the significance of that is, but that's definitely there.
It's definitely there. I was getting very much a Greek myth vibe from this episode, not only because of the monster within the maze, but even the idea as soon as Dirk mentioned hell, I had a very strong vibe of Todd in an Orphean sort of way diving into hell and trying to bring Dirk back out. And the only way that they're able to both make it out together is Todd almost metaphorically not looking back, of trusting his gut and jumping into that unknown area, even when Dirk tells him that it could go horribly wrong.
No, I love this because I, for some reason, didn't even get like the Greek myth vibe. But it's definitely there. I totally see that.
So that is just where my head has been this entire time. It's just me going like, myths and prophecies and heroes and monsters.
Oh my goodness, there's too much. Yeah, well, okay. Talking about, our hero and his friends. We also have some really great moments with Hobbs and Todd trying to rescue Dirk from all of this.
Yes, the flashlights get brought up again.
Oh my god, I love Sherlock Holmes so much. Just here, have a flashlight.
I know, and I'm just a little scared. They keep planting that flashlight, and I'm waiting for the payoff, and I don't know what the payoff is going to be. But he almost is literally, like offering light to everyone. He's a ray of sunshine.
He is. I honestly, just his reactions to everything in this is just me. Between, like his being so tired in the morning, and also, if you told me like, oh yeah, by the way, Brigid thinks they're in like actual Judeo-Christian hell, my first response would be, well, that's a turn of events.
Yeah. That escalated.
It's just like, what else do you say? It's just like the slide. I need to know what the slide is going on here. And also, I loved just he tries to, offer comfort to Todd when they're in the car, and at some point he just realizes it's a beautiful moment, and at some point he just realizes that words kind of break down, so literally all he does is just kind of like offer him that, like tactile, comfort, and just say, it's okay. You're gonna be okay.
Coming from a man who we now know has literally opened up his home to these people.
And especially if you consider Todd's, newfound complicated relationship with touch and with senses, just having a positive. Yeah. And then the two of them, and then Hobbs and Dirk when Todd has his attack.
Yeah, Hobbs is getting a bit better at handling those attacks, but they both show so much concern.
Yeah, that we knew that it was going to be, it was coming, like waiting to come back up. The fact that Todd has parabibulitis, and the fact that he's in danger, and the fact that he's still Dirk's friend.
And in a slight moment of continuity, did you hear Hobbs' cat in the background?
I
did. So I'm waiting for the cat to show up, but Hobbs needs to be okay so his cat can be taken care of.
Exactly. Yeah, did we want to talk about Dirk and Todd's conversation after the fact?
Yeah. I mean, which one? They had a lot of really good conversations, but in another sort of reaching out or offering to someone, Todd really gives Dirk his perspective back. Dirk just heartbreakingly saying, like, I'm just going to get you killed. Why are you even here? and to have Todd be able to tell him, I need to be here and I need you to be here because you're my only way to get back to Amanda. For some reason, it felt different than the first episode. It felt like it was a mutual sort of trust and a gift rather than Todd leeching or demanding something of Dirk.
Okay. I see, that's not exactly how I viewed it, which is kind of interesting. Because I did like the fact that you had Todd kind of put his foot in his mouth when he first walked up, like this again. And you're like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, Todd. But he did, apologize and he backed off, which I think is a good point because, Todd has grown a lot since the first season. But I liked slips like that show that, it's still a process. He's still growing. But for me, I thought that Todd tried to reach out and it was admirable. But I don't think it ended up working quite the way he hoped.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you had, Todd's attack really did a number on Dirk. Especially just seeing Dirk's face. He doesn't know quite what's going on. He's used to being the one that's kind of getting, pulled off and led places and confusing other people, and he was just sitting there like, wait a sec, Todd? What? No? You're my anchor? What are you looking at? But also, during the conversation, he asked Todd all these questions, like, why are you here? And Todd responded with, his need to reconnect with Amanda. And I feel like you could see the moment where Dirk immediately kind of shut down his own emotions because, okay, no, I'm Todd's friend. I need to help Todd with this. And then immediately, had the call from the universe and was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to jump on this now. It's a case. I got the case. I'm going to follow the case. And I feel like he's still not addressing.
This might be the first time we seriously disagree about something. We're now coming to blows. Because for me, I saw the excitement that came back, and I saw that the last time we see Dirk in this episode, he actually has a smile back on his face. He seems happy. And for me, it seemed more like I have something to contribute. This isn't a one-way ticket to doom for my friends. That I'm valuable to them just as they're valuable to me.
Okay, and I do admit he does smile, but I feel like also he does, which is nice. Let's have more of that.
Yes.
But also, even when they first get out of limbo, hell, and even when Dirk was still in it, he had that exhausted, just of course, which has been his sort of refrain for the season. Just of course he has pink hair. Of course it's an endless hallway. Of course. And then when he does get out, he's just so tired. And he's just I have a gift for you. I think it's the murder weapon. And he just looks so done. And he looks at Todd. Just yep. Though I did love that moment because before that, Todd was completely, in his head and looking down, and he looks up at Dirk, and the two of them are just so tired together. But they still look to each other.
I think if nothing else, we can both agree that they're very good at getting each other out of their own heads.
Or at least kind of pulling them along. They carry each other up the mountain, so to speak, I can't carry it for you, but...
Yeah. And that's a great theme for everyone. There are burdens in our lives that other people can't carry for us, but... time-wise.
Okay, so was there anything else we wanted to bring up with that crew before we move on?
I really, really wanted to talk about the house for a second. I know we've kind of moved on from there, but I feel like you were probably interested in the TV, and
Yes.
I was very interested in the TV.
I I meant to go back and like look at it specifically, but like what the dialogue was.
I
But
was looking at the dialogue. I looked at the dialogue.
see, this is why we work together. Okay, lay it on me.
Oh, well, most of it was from either some kind of Western, but mostly like medieval television show, and they kept going back and forth. And as Dirk approaches the door, they say something about, oh, I hear strange noises. And then as he's opening it, it says, those who are wise would turn back now.
Ooh, that's appropriate.
Said was, yeah, a few of the things they said was like, I will help you, beware of the secret of the vaults, and also, just a bit more directly, weird creatures.
Okay, well, we definitely have some things to go on there.
Yep. I am like convinced the house is talking.
That the house is talking.
Yeah. Either
Ooh.
it's gained some kind of sentience or that someone is talking to Dirk through the house, or I don't know if the Cardenuses are trapped in there somehow, or if there's some horrible poltergeist type situation going on from all of the negative energy in the house.
Well, haven't we had people possibly communicate via television before?
Yes, we have. With the princess, everything is connected. You know, your brother is gay kind of thing.
So there could be something there.
And then literally the house is covered in TV static.
And white noise, so to speak.
Yeah, white noise. And TV is definitely a form of escapism for children.
And an interesting, we have a house within a house, we have a TV show within a TV show, play within a play kind of thing.
Yes. Although I don't know which king we are trying to capture.
But we also have in that exact same house the mural, which we discover later, which I think plays in nicely with all of those themes, especially when you bring up secrets of the vaults, because in the mural, if you look beneath what appears to be, I'm assuming, the Danglemore Castle, we do have mines.
Really?
Yes. And we know that the Danglemores are miners, and we don't know what they're mining for, but whatever it is has made them rich. And we know that there's a definite theme of, pits, holes, and quarries. So something is going on there, and if there's a secret, if there's some kind of secret, something that would cause the Tross to object to the mining. I feel like that's just one more clue.
One more clue. It'll lead into another clue, into another clue.
Yep. Seriously though, that mural is very interesting.
Yes, I saw you had created basically a compilation.
Kind of, I tried, but few things on that front. You've got, the castles with the mine. You've got the forest with what I presume is, Waktu Nasi and some other interesting creatures. You've got, let's see what else. One whole wall is really interesting. It's literally just different depictions of the mage being killed in various very creative ways by the same figure, same smiling figure wearing a crown.
Oh, very Narnia-esque.
Very, but like giant bees, drowned, thrown under the train tracks, just eaten by crabs, I think was one of them. Just like all really, really weird. And that's an entire wall, pretty much. And then you've got the mage with his armies, like his knights, casting magic, possibly against the moon, possibly that's just where they happen to wind up together. And there's a few other things that are a bit harder to make out, but I really want to know what's going on with that. Also, one other interesting thing.
Yeah?
None of the drawings that we've seen at the beginning of the episodes, like the skeleton tree or the purple people eater, none of them are in that mural.
I don't know.
So I don't know what's going on there. Whether that's an old prophecy and there's a new one being written or, a new history, I don't know, but...
That is very interesting. And I kind of wonder who this of course I wonder who this little boy is, or who this child is that's making these drawings, that they hate the mage that much.
Well, the perennial question, who is the boy? And there's been even some really cool theories relatively recently that I've really liked, where they're kind of playing with the whole 3-in-1, was it 3 questions, 1 answer?
Yeah.
Or 1 question, 3 answers, or there was at least one, unfortunately they were anonymous, but proposing that, that there are actually 3 different boys, which would be like the Cardenas' son, Farson, and Susie's son. And then Princess Paradoxical, who we always love their theories, kind of jumped off of that, and theirs was that the boy, the mage, and Moloch are all the one and the same character.
One and the same character?
Yes. Like, there was some kind of, psychic explosion or something with the 67, and that somehow separated, the original body, Moloch, which remained behind in the coma and was picked up by the government. And then you've got the kind of the physical manifestation of all of the, anger and the malevolence in the mage. And then, the boy would be, either, like just the previous incarnation or possibly some other kind of manifestation. Which... No, go on.
I really like the idea of the mage being some kind of manifestation of evil, especially if you were right about there being some kind of domestic violence situation, just because I can imagine a child playing out their fantasy of, becoming a king and ridding the world of this evil character, and then for it to somehow take on a life of its own would have kind of scary.
He's got a twirly mustache.
He does have a twirly mustache.
So and his, his big villainous speech is about, leaving and people not telling you what to do anymore.
That is interesting. Yeah. And while I don't think Scott is gonna be one of the boys, but Susie's son. Yes. There has been some interesting conversations about him. There was someone on Tumblr named Vernal Pool, and they were just pointing out the fact that Scott has been in basically every single episode, that he's around the periphery, and that he has interacted with Panto, and we know he's already been exposed to some of the weirdness that's happening. And I'm kind of curious about what he might get swept into.
That's interesting, because honestly, I don't understand his character and where he's going, his relationship with his mother. So if we want to jump into that.
Yeah. Speaking of unhealthy family relationships.
Speaking of, we've got new day with Susie, also in bed, waking up. New sweatshirt.
Yes. Did you read this one?
I did. If your eyes hurt, it is because you're looking at a star.
For someone with such grand ambitions,
Yep.
is that they don't have grand ambitions, but who seems to jump on the mages pretty quickly.
Yeah. She wants to believe what he's telling her, that, she's got power. And also, her relationship with her son is another reason why I think there could be a parallel, because if the Cardenas boy was the victim of, domestic violence, she does not have a good relationship with her son either. There's definitely some kind of emotional, if not abuse, just, like some very unhealthy, uh, relationships in that family. Just her, shouting at him that, he's an asshole, and he obviously inherited his anger issues from somebody.
So it could be kind of interesting that the wand ended up being pulled to another figure like this.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, another hand out, another offering of something, in this case, power and opportunities, and we don't know what she's going to do.
No, though she's definitely gonna try to kill Dirk Gently.
Yeah, she seems set on that bit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't believe she actually is a murderer.
Yeah, that book club is gone.
Yeah, I was really holding out hope that they were going to show up in a magical forest somewhere.
Me too, but that's seeming less and less likely.
Yeah, all of my notes for that section are just like, oh my god, she incinerated them!
And then my notes after that are just, oh my god, Farah has no bedside manner.
Or, oh my god, Tina almost put a bit of it in her mouth.
Yeah. The two of them make a really interesting, buddy cop duo.
Yes, definitely, especially with Farah showing her loose side with regards to lockpicking.
Oh yeah, Tina was she's like, are you down for that?
Oh, she was thrilled.
Yeah, the two of them, especially just when they're waking up and like, wasn't the whole reason why we slept here last night is to keep an eye on the prisoners? And you just see Tina just like, right, yeah, totally.
That was my reason.
That was
Yes.
definitely, yes.
I love them.
Yeah, honestly. And of course, they let it slip that Dirk Gently is around, so that's gonna have consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Farah is still not down with time machines and incinerations. As much as she's been through, as much craziness.
And as excited as Tina, I think, is for purple crocodiles, I don't think she's actually ready for what is probably going to come.
Probably. Especially because you have the whole gang is just like trying to follow along and follow the trail, and everything's connected, and then they're looking at Dirk, and it's just,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although, jumping back to that conversation, there was one thing I was very happy for.
Yeah?
Because I had been waiting, we had all been waiting for that conversation where, like, what if, you know, who and what I am gets you killed? And I was just waiting for Todd to say, like, oh, like Estevez? And for Dirk to be like, what do you mean, like Estevez?
Why would... No, we don't need that. We don't need that right now. I mean, you're right, it's probably going to come up at some point, but I need to have some forewarning. That would not be okay. That is not what we need right now.
I was waiting for it, though. I so was.
Ah, because you have a cruel, cruel mind.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's quite enough with our Earthbound group. What
Hmm.
about Wendemore? Amanda and Vogel.
Well, I absolutely love that we've been so obsessed with the idea of finding this boy, finding this boy, finding this boy, and he just like shows up and reaches out his hand. It goes like, "Hi, I'm Farson
I
Wendemore."
know! I was expecting him to be trapped in some kind of, like limbo space, and he literally just ran away from home.
Yeah. So it's just well played, Max. Well played. There
Yep.
was no Titanic struggle. There was no, mythical excuse. It was just, hey.
Just hey. Um, and we had a couple interesting new characters. But can I just say, we've talked about names on this, thing before.
I know what's coming.
You know what's coming?
I know what you're going to say.
Okay, well, I've got two names that I need to go off on. We literally have a runaway boy, and his name is Farson.
Okay, I didn't know you were going to say that. That is quite clever. I
Um,
hadn't even thought about that.
yeah, just Farson. He's far away, son. Okay. And then the one that you were probably expecting, Lord Triangle Medieval.
Medieval.
Is it
Mm-hmm.
bad evil or is it Bade evil? Either way, it's so on the nose, but I don't know
It
if I love it or
is.
I hate it.
I know. And he has a very interesting makeup sort of thing going on. Half of his face looks like it's been struck by lightning, and he
Well,
has this
it's a
strange
tattoo
helmet.
like the mage.
Yeah, yeah. And he has the strange symbols, almost in the same place as like those scissor stabs, which confused me for a second. But I think you're right. I think it's more just a cool tattoo.
Yeah, so I don't know. He seemed to actually recognize like the lightning effect that Amanda had going on. I don't know whether he has any magic himself or whether
Hmm.
he's just been around the mage long enough.
True, true. I don't know.
But can we talk about that?
The lightning?
Hell yeah.
Amanda's epic Emperor Palpatine moment?
What the hell is Paravobulitis?
I have no idea at this point because no one else seems to have it. It's this weird thing that just gets passed through their family. And
And
now
yeah,
suddenly it involves electricity and it involves hallucinations and it involves visions.
and being able to
And
communicate across dimensions.
yeah, it's a little bit of a grab bag.
Yeah.
And it dovetails really nicely into the Rowdy's powers.
Yeah, that works really well. Um, 'Cause oh my goodness, poor Vogel. Oh my god.
Oh, baby. And his thumbs up when they're going
Oh
to
my god! That
die.
image.
My heart.
Ah. I don't even have anything to say about that. Just
Uh, that was how he was gonna go out, and he's so sweet.
like
Ugh,
he knew she was doing her best and she wanted to be there for him and they were just gonna go out together. Uh,
how very.
but yeah, but no, I love this new like superpowered Amanda. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that
For someone who's gotten pushed around and who's had a lot of people telling her what she can and can't do, and a lot of people chasing her, it's just really great to see her have some power and agency.
yes, and can I just say I absolutely loved to death. Um, Dirk Gently on Tumblr, or Dirk K Gently on Tumblr, wrote this thing where I'm just gonna read it out because it's beautiful. I love Amanda with my whole heart. Like, she went from being an agoraphobic, constantly fearful, but kind of badass shut in to fucking weaponizing the thing that hurts her. giving absolutely zero fucks, being complete and total badass, and also caring so deeply about people and doing absolutely everything she can to protect them. Weaponizing the thing that hurts her. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Wow.
Hell yeah. If that does not describe exactly who she is.
Well done. Well done, that person.
And well done the show. Honestly, you have someone who's, chronically ill, and they definitely, addressed that,
And remain chronically
and
ill.
remain chronically ill, but, managed to, like, take that and make it into a strength. That's awesome.
And she is so scary.
I love the image, just, like, you've got almost like the lightning in her eyes, just everything's lit up. It's so cool. But we can't keep talking about that forever because we're already running a little long.
There's just so many things, but yeah, we don't know how this has happened, if anyone's helped her sort of unlock this, or what will happen with it. But right now, all I can say is hell yeah.
Hell yeah, and hopefully Wakti Wepnasi, as we saw in like the sneak peek for next time, possibly helps her, channel it even more.
Yes.
Okay, so we have not covered. Let's go with Bart and Panto. We haven't covered them.
Oh, sweeties. Such sweeties.
Can I point out, wait a second, who was it that first said it? It was, sorry, I'm pulling it up.
That's okay.
I think it was autistic Dirk Gently pointed out to all of us that the uniform that Bart is wearing in the jail cell, the serial number is QT 3.14.
Right. Oh, goodness.
It's Cutie Pie!
This show.
This show with the details. Thank you.
And she really is, because she takes someone who's new, who's an outsider like her, who doesn't really get how humans work.
And
she
honestly has not had a good introduction to our world. Like,
No.
I love the whole gang, but like, someone besides Bart, please talk to him like a person.
Yeah. And what Bart does is she reaches out to him and she tries to initiate him into the ways of Chinese food and donuts, and I love her.
Yeah, she said that, she was trying to change, she was trying to take control of her life, and that scene between, her and Panta that we got, previewed to us, you can see it so much, and I loved it.
Honestly, in a weird way, Bart's never had to work at anything in her life. It's either been impossible and fated to not work, or it's just happened for her. Doors open, trials are overcome, cars turn off and on again. She's had not only no agency, but really no struggles. And this is her first big struggle. And just seeing, I don't know, gentleness and enthusiasm has been really heartwarming.
Yeah. And she's so open with him. Like, Ken, she, like, punched to get him to keep talking. Panto, she just kind of, like, shares herself with him, shares things that she, finds fascinating and enjoyable. And not only is she being good to other people, which is something that she never would have been able to do before Ken, and before her decision to grow, she's taking care of herself. Like,
yes.
Before, she wouldn't even go look for food because it might distract her from, the mission and the universe. She got herself showered and clothed, and she was hungry, so she went and got donuts. She didn't, just sit put.
Yeah.
She didn't get, the universe, secondhand scrap. She went and got herself some donuts.
Yeah.
Hell, she got band-aids for her cuts. It's making me feel things.
It is. Ugh. And Panto sees that and calls her a noble lady and just rightfully points out the fact that she's making an effort with him.
Yeah. And I really like that we got some more characterization with him as well. It wasn't a whole lot. I would still love to see more of like the actual character, apart from just, the dashing prince archetype. But I really actually loved his response when Bart asks you, like, okay, so you're not from around here. And he just kind of gets this like proud little smile on his face. And he's just like, a barren prince in the Valley of Inglenook in the land of Wendemore. And he just like, you can tell he's not taking himself too seriously, but he's proud. He's very proud.
Yeah, it's a quiet pride, but he's proud of his family, he's proud of what they've achieved, and he's proud of the responsibility that he has.
Exactly. And even more so, I love the fact that Bart, who's just loving this, like talking with humans thing, just says, that's just a bunch of noises. And a lot of people could react very poorly to being told that your birthright and like your entire existence is just a bunch of noises. But he doesn't even seem, he doesn't seem mad, doesn't seem distraught. He just kind of, like ruefully sort of smiles and just like, yeah, like I'm not in Kansas anymore.
He shares the joke.
Yeah. So I'm really liking him so far. I really want to see more. But yeah, that was not a pairing, the two of them, that I ever would have considered, but I'm loving it. And jumping off from Bart, we've got, Bart's person.
Ken. I don't know how I feel about Ken right now.
Well, how about you go first, because I've got a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about.
I don't have a lot, but I realize that he is obviously in a horrible situation and that he has to find a way to make himself valuable. But he seemed way too interested in the idea of, I don't know, getting people to do what Friedkin wanted him to do. I don't know. He just said something along the lines of like, oh, these people, these beings, or these people, these creatures. These things. Yes. And it just seemed so unlike him. And I was very confused. And I'm kind of worried about what kind of project he would be willing to get involved with. Because we already know he's dealt with weird people in the past. And I'm worried that his interest or his curiosity might have him go too far. But then again, I don't want to blame him. And I know he's in an awful situation and he's just as much a prisoner as anyone else. And so it would be really great for him to maneuver his way to a more influential position. But I don't know, for some reason, the way he started phrasing things made me pause for a second. As much as he was, being Friedkin's counselor at that time.
Yeah, poor Floor Friedkin.
Mm-hmm.
And by poor, I mean, yeah, you had this coming, dude. Like,
yeah,
really? You thought you were gonna form the Avengers?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I did love that scene. If for no other reason, then we got some really interesting, insights into, 10,000 pages worth of 4 different types of disappearing people. And the fact that there was some kind of, precursor called Black Book. Even more so than that, because I do want to hear more about that, because I can't imagine Friedkin's going to read all 10,000 pages, so I'm hoping that we get some more of that through Ken. I did want to talk about what you were saying, because it definitely did give me pause. But anyway, first I want to talk about, like, the first thing he mentioned, the causal roles. Which
I know nothing about, so please just fill my brain.
Well, I thought it sounded really interesting, so I tried looking it up. And please, anyone who actually knows what they're talking about, excuse my, my fumblings. But I don't quite understand its context in computer science, but to the best of my ability, causal rule seems related to functionalism,
Oh,
in which, part of a system is defined by the end result of its function within that system.
okay, makes sense.
So, like, an example I read would be like a biologist might use the example that a kidney is an organ in the human body whose function is to filter the bloodstream. And, that's its definition. And for a lot of scientific disciplines and objects, it's perfectly fine to define things in that manner. But when you get kind of philosophically, though, especially when you're dealing with people, there's the question about whether such definitions are actually explanatory of the thing itself. And that it led me down a bit of a rabbit hole. That led me to teleology, which I might be mispronouncing, which I had heard before, but it's interesting, in relation to this.
Please, I know nothing.
Well, teleology suggests that the purpose for something is defined by its end goal. And you have extrinsic teleology, where the purpose is defined by humans. So, like, I think Wikipedia had, like a fork's, purpose. Its definition is to, pick up food. And that's, something that was given to it by humans, And then also you have, Aristotle and ancient philosophers had something which was a...
Ooh, wait.
What?
Properties or something.
What was that?
Is that the essential and incidental properties?
I think it's related, yeah. Because you have like an intrinsic or a natural purpose, which is completely separate from human intention. So it's kind of related. You had, what was it, like, not logos, you had telos, which is supposed to be like this, like inherent, purpose. So not like a characteristic, but like its definition. So like an acorn's, telos or purpose is to grow into an oak tree, People didn't design it to, do that. They didn't, purpose it to do that. It's just that's what it is in nature. Now, I found that really interesting when related to the Blackwing subjects, as, Ken was doing. And it comes back to that line, Ken started with, like, these people, these things, whatever they are, they want meaning. Now, ignoring the part where he uses the word things, because honestly, Ken is such an empathetic person that, and we've seen so many, examples of that.
Yeah.
I would be seriously concerned if it wasn't for the precedent he had already set.
Mm.
And when you think about it, it's an unfortunate phrasing, but, Ken's just speaking, like, empathetically as another human being. Like, just like he found out at the end of season 1, when he fixed the machine, he knows people, crave a purpose or, like, a meaning in their life, a destiny. And the Blackwing subjects are, likely no exception. The problem is, though, that a person's struggle is to define their own place and meaning within the universe. But looking at the subjects within the framework of, like, functionalism or teleology, in trying to, quantify them in order to control them, you're imposing a definition or function onto them. So, like, Friedkin's done it, Blackwing's done it, they give them an extrinsic purpose by calling them, like the human bomb or the invisible one, and considering how they can turn them into the next Avengers. And actually, like, hell, we've all done it by assuming an intrinsic purpose for subjects like Dirk and Bart by calling them, like the delete button of the universe or the search function of the universe. But whether or not the system in which they're functioning is, Blackwing or just the universe. We've seen the subjects, take strides to define themselves apart from their functions. Like, in fact, you can kind of say, with the breakouts and the prophecies, that a huge theme for season 2 is rebelling against this concept of functionalism that Ken's calling upon.
The ability to forge your own destiny and to decide your own purpose.
Exactly. To take what you're given and, to make something of it. Or what you were talking about at the beginning of the episode, trying to,
search for an escape,
to search for a way out, to search for an escape.
Wow. Okay. I knew none of that, but that all really, really works. And for some reason now I'm stuck on the idea of this oak tree and wondering what Blackwing might have done with it. And I'm also very aware that someone in this TV show has an oak tree or a tree and turned it into a murder weapon.
Oh, well, that would be an interesting coincidence if my random metaphor happened to work out like that. But no, it comes full circle, and like I said, I think we can expect more parallels along these themes for the rest of season 2 as we continue moving forward.
Especially because something like that, these beings, these people are going to fight back.
And I cannot wait to see it.
Me neither. Oh, goodness.
All right, so with that,
the next episode will come out on Saturday. I don't remember the name of it.
Shapes and Colors.
Oh, so many implications there.
So, are we going to see more of the magic, or more about the shape of things and people's true colors?
Or just something completely different that will blindside us all.
Likely the last one. Okay, well, I cannot wait to watch it and to share it with all of you lovely people. So, until next time, we will see you for Shapes and Colors.
See you.